Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So I'm here with an exciting new video because I got my hands on the LG V60 ThinQ 5G. Try to say that 3 times fast in conversation, don't get it tattooed on your arm because this is one heck of a label. But either way, by surprise, I got contacted by LG and they sent this out to me as a review unit. So super cool, not sponsored material, none of that stuff, just to review it. But they also sent me the dual screen. So I have both of these. I'm going to do my unboxing video. So in this video, you're gonna see me unbox the video, take everything out, have a look at the phone, set up the dual screen, do some first impression stuff. So if you're interested in the LG V60 ThinQ 5G, then you're probably gonna appreciate this and be interested to see what's inside the box and also some of the neat little features that come along with it as I talk about it. So if this is your first time stopping by the channel, before we get to all that, I do want to say thank you for stopping and watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy it, the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates on the latest videos. Now, let's see what's inside this box. And this box. All right, so here we are with the LG V60 ThinQ 5G and the extra dual screen, which is also a case that the regular V60 goes into. I have the T-Mobile model. It is, of course, 5G, as the name implies. It's on the side of the box. They have it for all the different carriers. There is differences in the pricing depending on carrier, though, which is weird, but it has to do with the antenna that's inside because of the type of network that it supports. At least that's what I've been told. It's $7.99 if you get it without the dual screen with T-Mobile, or $8.99 with, and then it bumps up to $9.49 if you get it through Verizon. But I think it's worth the extra $100. I mean, some people say that the screen is a little gimmicky, but as I've had time to use it some, I actually like it a lot. It's definitely worth $100. So, and I mean, it's light years less expensive than like the S20 Ultra, which is $13.99. So it all just depends on what you're looking for. Now, I did use my handy dandy knife here. I actually got that when I was on deployment back in 2010. So I've had the knife a long time, decided to bring it out for the unboxing. You see it cuts the little plastic off nicely. So let's take the box off and look at the V60 after we take the little cloak out of the way, and ta-da! We have the LG V60. Now I have the white model and it's really cool. It's got like an opalescent effect to it. It reminds me a lot of the S10, and you'll see that here in a minute whenever we get to see the back of the phone. But overall, I do think that it looks pretty fancy. Now it's funny here because it still has the sticker on the back that says the back cover and battery are non-removable. And people have been complaining about this. I even had it on the G8, and I watched reviews and people did that and talked about it as well. So I don't know why they're still putting that on here in 2020, but they are. But you can see it's a very nice looking phone. It's got the little brushed aluminum looking sides on it, and then that white opalescent back on it. Of course, there are other colors. On the left side, you've got the volume up and volume down button. You've got the Google Assistant button, which is dedicated, the SIM tray up on top. And then on the bottom, you have the 3.5mm headphone jack, which of course LG is going to include. And then you have the USB-C charging port and the speaker. Now on the back here, you can see the camera array, which is nice. I mean, it looks very much like the G8, except instead of being covered, it's raised up. And it's got a 64 megapixel and a 13 megapixel camera on there. Now, we'll go ahead and turn it on and set it off to the side there and finish looking at what's in the box. Here's a little insert for LG Pay, which I have not tested out yet, but we'll have to see how that goes. We have the T-Mobile SIM card, and we also have the insert, which has the documentation, and as labeled on the outside here, it has the SIM ejector tool on the inside as well. So it's got everything that you need, standard stuff that comes with the phone, the warranty information, the ejector, all the warning paperwork, causes cancer in California, the standard stuff. Now, it does have a USB-C to USB-C charging cable in it. It's not the largest one in the world, which that's kind of standard fare when it comes to phone cables. They don't usually give you a very long cable to go with the charging brick. I don't know why. But there's also a USB fast charger here, 25 watts, which should get you recharged quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's a lot nicer than the previous ones that came out that had 18 watts or all that good stuff. So quick look at the screen here. You can see it's got the teardrop notch cut out there for the camera. Now you can set up the second screen when you're doing the initial setup, where you can have it show either the teardrop or you can have it show just a flat bar across the top, which is nice because I kind of like the flat bar. I don't mind the bezel. I really hate the way those teardrop cutouts look whenever it comes to the cameras. I know that it's supposed to kind of be less intrusive on the screen, but really just that tiny little circle there catches my eye, and I don't like it. But here we are with the unboxing of the second screen, which is, like I said in the beginning, it's also a case. So there's instructions on the front here that show you how to install it. Very easy. You just put the bottom of the phone in the bottom of the case first so that the USB-C connector can connect, and push the top in and it'll secure into place. It's actually pretty easy to install. Easier than it is for me to get the plastic wrap off there apparently. But you know, little foam insert, got the little mag lock cable, and this right here you actually have to attach to the end of your USB-C cable so you can plug it into the case and charge it. And it only charges the case. It doesn't also charge the phone, but like I said, very easy to install there. And then it works straight out of the gate. You don't have to do any setup, no crazy stuff. It automatically shows that, and you can have always on display mode, or you can have it to where it just comes on periodically. So easy stuff with the setup. Like I said there, new second screen, you can pick how you want it to show. Like I said, I do like it where it doesn't show that cutout. Of course, you get a little bit larger bezel, but at least the option's there, and I like options, so pretty cool. All right, so here we are with the LG V60 ThinQ 5G and the dual screens. So I like a lot of things about this phone. I'm not going to go too in-depth on this stuff because I'm going to make a full review video and all that jazz, some camera samples, the whole 9 yards. But what's important is it has this really nice second display screen on the outside, and if you're familiar with the V series, it started with the V10. It had the second screen up at the top along with the V20, and then things just started getting crazy with it. I think they kind of lost their way a little bit, but it now has a true second screen, and then it has kind of the original second screen display on the front, which is really what it was kind of originally intended for. Basic information like notifications, the time, all that jazz. Well, this screen, you can have an always on display or not, and then when you open it up, you get all the benefits of having a true dual display. And I actually have the Samsung Galaxy Fold, and there's one thing that I really like about this that it does better than the Fold, and that is being able to truly use 2 apps simultaneously. So I can have like 6 apps open with little windowed screens on my Fold at the same time, but you can't necessarily use them independently one another. So like if you want to play a game and watch YouTube at the same time, or if you want to have your Twitter feed open and play a game, or watch YouTube at the same time, you can do that and still interact with both windows because the displays run independently of each other. So it's super nice. It's like having 2 fully functional phones instead of an extension of a display, which is nice. So you can open up over here. I'll go ahead and open Boom Beach, and while that's loading, I'll go ahead and open up Twitter over here. And you can use both of them at the same time, which is really, really nice. And for people who are curious, and see, you can still close one and still have the other one open. You can also do as an extension, so you can extend certain apps over to the other display, which is nice, but it's kind of wonky in how it works because it splits everything with the big gap down the middle. But otherwise, I've been a pretty big fan of it so far. There's some questionable choices that they made. The camera setup, it's got the 2 cameras on the back instead of the 3. They left out the telephoto one. I don't know why they did that. I mean, there's plenty of room back there. They could have easily fit one in. But other than that, the case is nice. The buttons are a little annoying just because whenever you open up the second display, kind of hard to get to those. They're not very easily accessible, but it works. You've also got the dedicated Google Assistant button, which is nice. It's pretty much near impossible to plug in anything into the bottom of here because you got to have just the right size 3.5 millimeter cable, but you can still get the Quad-DAC experience that LG is known for. No facial recognition. I don't really understand that because even like the $99 new Mobile X6 that I reviewed recently does it. So I mean, everyone has facial recognition. They do have an under the screen fingerprint sensor, which is nice. So you can fire that up. It's the infrared one. It's not like the better ultrasonic fingerprint sensor or fingerprint scanner like Samsung has, but it is faster. It's very reliable. I actually prefer these. They work perfectly fine. It is running Android 10 with full swipe gesture support, which I'm glad they finally got on board. I like that a lot. And the phone itself, I mean, it looks pretty nice. I mean, they did a good job designing it. It's pretty easy to take in and out of this case. I'll go ahead and take it out here. And you can see, it looks really nice. Like, it's really a pretty phone. It looks very opalescent, kind of like the S10 series. It's a fingerprint magnet, so it's probably best that it stays inside the case. It very easily picks up smudges. I had to wash my hands like 3 times during the unboxing and keep wiping it off just because it looked like somebody grabbed a Snickers bar and then started touching the phone. But otherwise, I do like it. It's got the teardrop notch cut out on it for the camera. The cameras seem okay so far. I haven't taken too many pictures. I'm not really going to get into that right now. A lot of the camera samples that I'm seeing on Twitter actually look really good. So that's promising. The telephoto stuff, you don't have it. The wide angle, of course, it does have the regular primary shooter. It has like a, I can't remember, it's got like a 48 megapixel camera, I think, on the back, but lots of good things going on. I'm really looking forward to getting into it and testing it out more. But yeah, that's the unboxing video. You got to see everything inside of there. A little bit of discussion on the phone. I'm going to do a full review on it so that you can get all the wonderful information that you want to know about it. So if you have any questions or you're concerned about certain features, leave them in the drop down, and I can look at that as I'm going in and making my full review video over the next couple of weeks. But so far, it's pretty decent. It's speedy, it's peppy, it's got plenty of zip to it. I really like the screens. The screens are nice and big, immersive. It's perfect for like Twitter and stuff. And then one other thing, whenever you open the screen up, you can fold it all the way around the back, but then it turns off. But the other problem I have is there's basically no protection there. So if you place this down on a flat surface, you're pretty much going to be very close to making contact with the screen, and that doesn't set well with me because you're inevitably going to sit this down. It's great while you're holding it. It's perfectly fine, but you're going to set it down at some point, and I would worry about that. But either way, I like it so far. It's cool. It's great that the price point is much lower than like the S20 Ultra and stuff like that. I mean, it's got the Snapdragon 865 in it, 5G antenna, all those good things. So that's it for the unboxing and first impressions. If you have any questions or comments about it, please leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. I'm very good about that. I like engaging with the community and people who stop by to visit. So, go ahead and leave a message. If you enjoyed the video, and like I said in the beginning, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And then also, if you want to get updates on the latest videos, hit the notification bell so you can get a pop-up on your phone when I have a new video that comes out. But that's all I got. Again, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.